Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Brother Sister Show, a family-owned and operated podcast where two siblings keep in touch by talking about movies. This week, we're talking about my sister, Livia's pick, Nightcrawler. But before we get into that, what's up? What's new? What have you watched? What have I missed?
Well, I truly was trying to figure out what the fuck I've been watching, but I couldn't think of anything because I have been watching stuff, but typically it'll be it'll be like shows or TikToks. I don't really want to get into full movies right now because I'm pretty busy. But I have been watching ER a ton.
Oh, very nice.
Because we have YouTube TV, and I like during work, I like to just, browse the channels.
Is it worth it? YouTube TV? Give us the scoop.
I like it because, so the only reason I think it's worth it, I have been kind of not watching it as much because I'm watching ER, but it was nice. It's nice during the day when I'm like working from home to not have to find something to watch.
Okay.
And I just put on YouTube TV and I just watch, like, it's basically, I mean, it's cable, right? So I just put on like whatever movie's on, whatever show. And that's why I've been getting into ER again, because there's a channel called like Pop TV or something that has, It always just shows different, like reruns of just different shows. And they've been doing ER a lot. And so I just started watching it because I was like, oh, I love that show. Because I've seen all of it already. So I'm like, oh, I'll just watch a random episode. But I got so into into like what's happening that I was like, oh, I'm just going to pick up from
where you left off.
I think from like season 7 or 8 is what I started on while watching YouTube TV. And so now I'm on Hulu just like watching all of it. So I like it.
That's good.
I also like being able to watch live things. So like the Grammys were this weekend, and especially I didn't pay much attention to it, but I don't know, I guess it's just nice to tune into something. Ooh, a big thing. I don't even know if I mentioned it, but a big thing, and the big reason I was so excited that we have YouTube TV is that I was able to watch the Meghan Markle and Prince Harry interview.
Oh.
Did we even talk about that?
No, we didn't.
Oh, man. Because the next day, everybody at work was like, how are y'all watching this? Like, where do I watch this? And I was like, you fools. YouTube TV. Come on. And that interview, I can't even believe that's honestly the best thing I've watched in months.
It seemed pretty crazy from like everything that I heard coming out from it.
Crazy. There's just so many things. I mean, Oprah's obviously like one of the best interviewers of our time, truly. But a big thing too is that a lot of interviews, people will leak stuff or information. Like I haven't seen an interview with a celebrity or I guess a prominent figure in a while where I'm learning stuff like right as it's happening and everybody is hearing this for the first time. And so I think that's why a lot of people were amazed by it, because a lot of the stuff that they were talking about, this was the first time anybody has ever said it, or at least they have ever said it. Yeah, I will never forget the moment that she said, like the gasp that Sebastian and I like let out when she said that there was conversations about how dark her child's skin would be. There was no lead up. There was no like, even I think they might have previewed that, but we didn't, like I said, we didn't even know they were going to talk about that until it happened. And we were like, fuck. Wow. And then the memes were really good. The TikToks, like there was one where, because Meghan Markle she's such a good interviewer or interviewee, because she was really respectful. She wasn't, especially of like the family that basically just got rid of her and her husband and her kid. Right. And as soon as Prince Harry came out, he was like, oh yeah, my dad hasn't called us in like a while. Like he's just giving up all this like information. There was a lot of fucked up things. Like they're not giving, Archie is her kid's name and she's pregnant right now. They didn't want, or I think he doesn't have a title. And people were, I think they were trying to make up, or they were trying to like, in the media over there, they're trying to make it seem like it was their decision. Like they wanted the title to be taken away. And they were like, Megan's like, I could give a shit about a fucking title. I don't care. I mean, first of all, it's his birthright. So it's not y'all's
Right.
decision to take it away from him. Second of all, the big thing that I didn't realize, and that was like, wow, is that when you take away, when you strip away somebody's title, so when they took away his title, that meant that he didn't get security. So nobody was going
Right.
to protect him.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they, it was just like, I kid, there's like so many wild things. Like they moved
tons.
to Canada. Did you hear about like when they moved to Canada? Because I think before COVID, for whatever reason, they came here, but then Harry basically just got a call one day and they're like, hey, we're pulling our security from y'all's house.
Wow.
And this is when they just announced, like, you know, the British, or the royal family always fucking announces when they go places. So they had basically just announced, hey, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, they're in Canada. And then this isn't exactly what happened, but basically the next day he got a call and they're like, okay, so everybody knows where you are. So we're just going to like pull out our security detail right now.
Ouch.
And they didn't have any money, basically didn't have any money because, you know, I mean, he said he was like scrambling to figure out how to pay for security. And I mean, this is like, you know, champagne problems, I guess. But when you're a prominent person and you don't have money to pay for security, that's kind of scary. But I think the best piece of knowledge that I learned and everybody learned is when they moved to LA, they were trying to figure out what they were doing. Now they have like deals with Netflix, Spotify. So they're good, right? They're fine. And they were going to be fine. But when they moved to LA, they didn't know what to do. So Tyler Perry said, you can stay at my house. He probably has like a million houses. So he was like, you can stay at my house and you can use my security.
That's awesome. That's so funny.
And somebody was like, who's going to play Tyler Perry during the next season of The Crown?
That's funny.
But yeah. And then there was another one that said, I want to be the person to explain to the Queen who Tyler Perry is.
Yeah. Okay. Now I saw some of those, but I never understood. I just saw like the super messed up stuff. How Meghan was considering suicide during her pregnancy because of everything. How bad it got. That was like, I was like, I don't want to learn anymore. This is already so messed up.
Well, it gets worse even for that. She told Harry. And they were supposed to go to an event, and he was like, "Well, we have to go." And she told Harry, "I don't want to go, but I don't want you to go without me because I'm scared of what will happen if you leave me alone." Like it was that big of a deal.
That's terrible.
And then they went to an event, and she said she hates looking at pictures from those because she was pregnant during that time, and she sees like is not just somebody that's dressed up and looks nice. She sees like where Harry, and they showed a picture where Harry's like grabbing onto her hand really tightly because they just didn't want to be there. And the worst thing too, the fucking Crown, I will put me on record, they fucking suck because the next thing is, I think she said the next day or really soon after that, she came to the Crown or the firm, like it's basically the royal family is kind of just like they feel like they're just chess pieces. And so the people that are like the players are the ones that she goes to for help. And so she told them, hey, this is what's happening. And I don't like, I'm scared of what's going to happen if I don't get help. And they were like, well, we can't help you.
That sucks.
Yeah. So
that's a terrible position that they were put in.
But I'm really glad. I think a lot of the British media was like attacking her for doing this interview and trying to say that, you know, she's whatever. I don't know.
Slander
I guess.
Or whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, she brought up a good point where she said like it took a lot for her to ask for help, and it's a very brave thing to ask for help, and so for them to just say no is really scary. No matter who you are, that's really scary.
Right.
And she basically said like how people are like what it's like to be in the royal family is basically how quarantine is going, where you can't leave You can't do anything. She said there was like times where she wouldn't leave their cottage for like months.
Sounds awesome. I'm just playing. That sucks.
Yeah. So she's like, so Oprah's like, so you're used to what we're going through now? And she's like, yeah, kind of.
Wow.
But yeah. Sorry, I can't believe I didn't talk about that last time. But yeah, that's, I mean, honestly, other than ER, that's the only thing I've been really watching.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a list. We'll save my my penance for last.
Oh, I was like, what?
Strange but true.
Yeah.
First thing, Designated Survivor. We're on season 3, the last one, and
You
boy,
sad?
did they mess up. They messed up so bad. Kayla and I were like, where's this character? Where's the other? Like, there's like the best characters in that show. They just got rid of them. We got one of Kiefer Sutherland's advisors. His like
They just
secret.
fired them?
Yeah, essentially. The budget cuts. I looked it up. Like all of Kayla and I's favorite characters
Gone?
gone. Yeah, his brother. They're like the White House's counsel. Everything.
Who's in that show then?
I don't know. I don't know.
So are y'all gonna finish it?
Yeah. Well, at first we didn't want to because we were so upset, but then we were like, we gotta finish.
You're like,
it.
well, then if we're not gonna finish it, then who's gonna be the designated survivor if we don't finish it?
Exactly. So we're on episode 8. I think there's only 10, so it'll be over with. Very upset though. Like, it's just for no reason. The show was really, really good, and they just got rid of the best characters. And then after that, the only other, well, I watched a movie, the new SpongeBob movie, because my roommate got Paramount Plus, and the SpongeBob movie's on it, the new one. That's
I didn't even
so
know there was
weird.
a new one.
It's so weird. It's like a really weirdly animated. It's like 3D almost, kind of like, I don't know. It reminded me of like a more high def version of like an Adult Swim, like Robot Chicken style, you know? You know how Robot Chicken is like all
weird,
the
yeah.
like animate, like claymation almost?
I don't
But
like that at all.
If you animated that and just like smoothed out all that clay, it was really weird. Snoop Dogg was in it.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Super weird movie. I don't know if I'd recommend it if you're above the age of like 7 or something. And then today I had to watch 2 movies. I had to watch Nightcrawler, obviously, but I had to watch Strange but True. And boy, that's like the perfect way to describe that movie. Okay,
but were you like shocked?
I was very shocked. First of all, I thought, okay, so the overall premise of the movie, for those of you who don't know, is a high school couple get into a car accident. The boyfriend dies, and the girlfriend 5 years later shows up to the boyfriend's parents' house and is like, "Hey, I'm pregnant with your son's baby." And I I thought someone was gonna say that's strange, but I guess it's true.
No, I know it's so. I hate that nobody said it.
Right?
That's strange, but true.
Like no one looked at the camera, spiked it, and just.
I would have loved. It would have made the movie so much better.
Right, if it was just all a gag. But yo, that spoiler alert, spoiler warning.
But but please, if you have not seen it, please go watch it.
Please, because what a ride. I was doing some research, and it Google categorized it as like a thriller / noir film. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Noir.
Noir.
Yeah, noir. I think you said it.
Why?
Why what?
Why is it titled? I get thriller, but noir.
I don't know. Maybe because they used a serif font in the poster. I have no idea.
I hated that title screen
if
too.
Noir means makes no goddamn sense, or I guess it makes sense, but like, why is this movie made? Then yeah. And also, how I just want to know what that movie looked like whenever these people signed on for it, because it has like good actors, a
Oh yeah,
really good cast.
I was very surprised to
Oh, but
see
spoiler, sorry, you were gonna
the dad. I don't remember the
Greg
actor's name.
Kinnear.
Yeah, Greg Kinnear. We talked about him last episode.
Love me some Greg Kinnear. Okay, but like what were you what did you think happened? Do you
Uh,
remember like what you thought I guess the what was the mystery of it? Or not mystery. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
what did you think was happening?
well, I kind of followed what the mom thought, like pretty much throughout. And I think that's what,
Can you remind me? I haven't seen it in a while.
but hopefully the people who made this wanted us to think. Well, first we thought, or I thought that she had frozen sperm and used that to impregnate herself.
Yeah, but that feels like weird for a high schooler to do.
Yeah, especially because it would have had to been post mortem. That's why I was a little like, ugh.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. I think there
But
was a moment where I thought that she was having an affair with the dad.
yeah, I that was the second thing I was gonna say. Is I thought that, but then when he came when I don't remember the lady's name, but when she came home with the roofies, and I was like, no, dude, no.
I think I gasped and I held Sebastian. I was like, "Oh my fucking god!" I didn't think they would go there.
Yeah, Kayla was like, it was probably the same thing. Kayla wasn't watching, but I was like, Kayla, they did not. And I was like, are you gonna ever watch this movie? She's like, nah. And then I explained everything, and she was,
I know.
what the frick? Yeah, it was that was a that was strange,
But true. Sorry.
but true.
But aren't you glad that you've seen it?
I guess so. I don't know if I'm
It
better
feels
for
like
it
an apt
or
punishment, I feel.
yeah. If I win this one, it's coming.
I haven't even thought of what I would choose for you if I won, or when I win, I guess.
We'll see. So yeah, I
All right, do you
figured we'd
wanna
end our talk on what we watched with the punishment, for
Yeah.
every. So
All right, and something I guess we can move into. I don't know, I sound like I'm disappointed. I kind of am, but the Oscar nominations, let's just get into them real quick. I'm surprised that I am not as mad as I thought I would be.
is it because you're? Uh, why? I
Why am
guess
I not mad?
yeah. Why are you not mad?
Because I think probably just I was expecting from the Golden Globes just the absolute fuckery of that entire thing, of Hamilton,
Right.
just all these like maybe, and also the TV stuff. I don't know. I think I was just prepared to be disappointed again, because usually the Oscars they don't follow closely what the Golden Globes do, but they tend to. And I was just mostly expecting to be mad about who was left out. But the people, at least I didn't want to be left out, weren't. But I also just haven't seen a lot of the movies that have been nominated.
Me neither.
I will say one big one that I'm upset about is director, not that Regina King was not nominated. That feels weird.
Oh, that's so right.
Like, who thought, or even for like getting Best Picture, but who thought? Let me look at this director list. Another round. I don't even know what that is. But who thought David Fincher needed another one for Mank? Doesn't
I
seem necessary.
I don't think I've seen any of these besides the ones that we watched for the podcast, which is one you made me watch
For Best Picture?
for any of these nominations.
Yeah, honestly, I think I've only seen two. But I don't know. I just haven't been that into movies this year.
Yeah, I mean, well, we have two groundbreaking things, right? Like, Riz Ahmed is the first Muslim best or like lead actor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nomination, and
Stephen
Stephen
Yeun.
Yeun. So that's cool. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Both people I know we both like. Kayla loves Stephen Yeun.
Oh, God, I love him. Yeah, Riz Ahmed. And people weren't expecting, I don't know how to say his last name, but Paul Rossi from Sound of Metal, the guy that ran he got nominated, and a lot of people were expecting to be upset about that. But that's what I mean. Like I was just getting real ready to be upset about that because he was so good in that movie. And I mean, Riz is really good, but he was very, very good.
Right.
Another thing that I noticed that a lot of people are like, okay, what is if you look at actor in a supporting role? So it's Sacha Baron Cohen for Trial of Chicago 7, whatever. Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami. Okay. Paul Raci, like I said, for Sound of Metal. And then there's Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield in Judas and the Black Messiah. And somebody was like, okay, so if Daniel Kaluuya or Lakeith Stanfield are neither of the lead actors for Judas and the Black Messiah, then who is? Because from what I'm understanding, hopefully it's not a spoiler, but from what I understand, Daniel Kaluuya plays like who is in the title, the quote unquote Black Messiah, and then Lakeith Stanfield plays the quote unquote Judas. So like, if the movie's not about them, then who is it about? Like, why are they both actor in a supporting role?
It seems weird.
Feels stupid.
Yeah, the only argument that I just made in my mind, but then immediately broke, is like, if they are both the supporting role, or if they both are the leading role, then you would put them in the supporting. But it doesn't make sense because you just put them both in the leading.
Yeah, I don't know. It truly doesn't make any sense to me. No idea. Mank, also, what is that? If Glenn Close wins a supporting or an Oscar finally for Hillbilly Elegy, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. What are the other ones? I mean, I don't know. There's not. I wish I had more of a Soul nominated.
Yeah, I saw.
But yeah, I guess I just don't have much opinions about this. Viola Davis.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I said them first.
Vanessa Kirby, kind of interesting. Yeah. I should have looked at these before, but I did not. I kind of did. Original score, Defy Blood, Mank, Minari, News of the World, Soul.
I looked at a couple of them that just I saw on Twitter on my feed.
Yeah, I saw some today, and it just feels like people are tired of like. I don't know. I feel bad because it is a historic. And then there's another conversation about. I love that the whole factoids of, like Chloe Zhao is the first director, I think, female director or director of Asian descent to be nominated. Stephen Yeun, like you said, is first Asian actor to be nominated for best actor or I think lead actor, right? I don't know. But there's all these firsts going around. And that's exciting and that's nice, but it also brings up the like, yeah, but this isn't the first year that Asian actors have been leads in good movies. So like,
yeah,
let's not pat ourselves too much on the back,
Yeah, I don't know if you saw all these like going just with the Grammys, just in the award like scene of things in the industry. Like all these big artists, like I know The Weeknd is like, I don't care about the Grammys from now on. I feel like I could potentially see that happening to the Oscars because like who cares at this point?
Well, I think too, the thing that people are not understanding, or at least maybe the Academy isn't understanding, is that people don't care. It's not that people don't care about what should be recognized as being good or even like great in its field, but it doesn't really matter if the Academy that is voting doesn't represent the people that are watching movies. And so that's why stuff like this happens. That's why stuff at the Grammys happens. Well, the Grammys, I mean, all of it is very political too. And it's all about money. And yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm like distracted right now because I'm reading it on CNN and it said that Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra are the people that that announced the Oscar nominations. I'm just gonna go ahead and
It's so
click out
random.
of that. Yeah, why them? Nick Jonas, that's been in like 2 movies. But
Weird.
yeah, okay, sorry. But they, yeah, it doesn't make any sense that they're so against. It feels like they're so against diversifying the voting party because they obviously are not reflective of the tastes of people that are people that are watching movies. Like it doesn't make sense. And I think every year they have these. I don't know who does it. Maybe Variety or something or Vulture. They interview anonymous people from the Academy, and a lot of them are like, I voted for this person because I just like their movies. And they're like, well, I didn't watch this movie, but a lot of people have been talking about like really good things. So like, I'm just going to vote for this one.
That's so annoying.
I
That's so
feel like you
lame.
should be required, you have to watch every single movie. Or at least maybe don't have the Academy vote for everything. Because, I mean, if I'm a writer, why the fuck am I voting on what's the best editing? I don't know what the
Right.
technicality of, especially when these are the same people that gave Bohemian Rhapsody a fucking Oscar for best editing. Are you kidding? Of course y'all don't know. I mean, I don't know about editing. I know that's not good editing. Come
No.
on.
Especially that scene where they
Oh
sit
my
down at the
God.
diner. Oh boy. It's like if I edited it.
Edited it. Yeah, I don't know. It just
Weird
like it's so frustrating that this is such an easy fix. But it feels like this is the hill they want to die on. So yeah, I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, "Fuck, hey, you know what? Fuck the Grammys, fuck the Oscars." But
Yeah, if it continues going down this path, sorry.
it's okay.
If it continues down this path, I feel like a lot of people are just gonna treat the Oscars the same way that a lot of artists are treating the Grammys now.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. All right, ready to move on?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be back after this. When Louis Bloom, a con man desperate for work, muscles into the world of LA crime journalism, he blurs the line between observer and participant to become the star of his own story in Nightcrawler. Written and directed by Dan Gilroy, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Rene Russo, and Bill Paxton. Rest in peace.
Oh, I forgot this is my part.
I almost read it too.
As for how much it cost, it was about $8.5 million in the budget. Opening weekend, it made about $10 million. US, it grossed about $32 million. Worldwide, about $47 million. It's a lot of money. As for how well the critics received it, 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 76% on Metacritic.
The 76% was surprising to me.
I can kind of see why, but we'll get into it.
Okay. All right, before we start, I do want to talk about what the title means, because I think they mentioned it a few times, but let's get a little bit more into it. So I found on Vice, they described them, a Nightcrawler, as a, quote, photojournalist who cruises the city after dark while listening to the radio chatter of first responders, all in an effort to get to crime scenes and accidents as fast as possible and snap a picture that he can sell to a news outlet. But this article did explain 2 things to me that I did not know. One, the nickname comes from, or is popularized. I don't know if it was created by, but it was popularized by the movie itself. And 2, the people that do this job are not at all like Lou in the movie.
What?
So I have a quote from that same Vice article where journalist Victor Biro says, quote, "I am not a sociopath. It's not about some sense of vanity or sensationalism." He said, tossing a cigarette out of the window. "There are issues that affect social policy and public perception. There are guys that do this just for the rush, but there are a lot of people that don't." And this just reminds me of what happened in Pineapple Express, where I forgot what that job title was, but do you remember how I did like a little deep dive into what Seth Rogen's character's job was,
Oh,
and people online were like, "Yeah, this isn't the same. Don't think that this is what you do."
that's so funny. Yeah, like how he like serves people
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Pineapple Express. That's funny.
And so people are it's just the same where people are like, "Yeah, I know it's I do what the same job title as the guy in the movie, but it's not that. So stop." All right, so into the movie, we start with Lou, because I think that's what he's mostly referred to as. I think is in my notes. I called him Lewis a little bit, but it's Lou. And he's just shady as hell from the get go.
Mm.
He's at some restricted area cutting down some fencing, and then he's caught, and he plays it off perfectly, which is kind of scary. But then when he sees, I think it's when he sees the watch that the guy's wearing, is when he just beats the shit out of him. And so
He's like,
already
nice
we know,
watch.
yeah, exactly. And already we know that this guy is not a nice guy, is
Not at
what I'll
all.
say. And a good note that I found that I didn't know about this movie is that the filmmakers made a point of not having Lou undergo a quote unquote character arc because they felt he would have to become a certain type of person and stayed that way as an adult. This was also why the initial scene has Lou assaulting and robbing a security guard. It was important that the audience not feel Lou became a worse person because of his work as a Nightcrawler, but instead recognized he was malevolent from the start.
You know, that's like perfect because while I was watching this, like this is my first time watching this movie, but I was like thinking to myself,
How
like,
do
of
you get
course he's a
here?
con. Yeah, yeah, well, almost that, but like he's a con man, and he's just trying to find his way to get either rich or fame, something to make himself feel better about because he
Yeah.
obviously wants to grow in that food chain almost. It is, I don't think he really cared what industry until he found video
Yeah.
production, I guess, if you call it.
Video production news or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the interesting thing too, and I think I have a bunch of notes about it, or I refer to it at least at the end, is that a big thing about this movie that I don't think a lot of people would realize if they don't think about it is that this this is at least this is a very unique movie where you don't know a lot about him, where
Right.
you're literally dropped into his world and you don't learn why he is that way. You don't get any background. You just have to trust, or you just have to like see this person for who he is and
Right.
exactly what you see. He doesn't acknowledge anything from his past. I mean, I think he says that he like in the later scene where he's trying to get a job from the guy at the construction site, where he tells him he's worked at a garage, but like we don't know that. But I think that adds to it. That adds to his mystery. Like, where the fuck did this guy come from?
Right. And that's another thing is like this is obviously something that he hasn't done for a whole or I don't know. Maybe he did do it for a long time, like selling like stealing metal from different places. But it just
He's a fast learner though, so I don't know. He could have just started it.
exactly that was so interesting for me as I was watching this. It's like trying to come up with different scenarios that he would fit because he as we learn he adapts so he's a very fast learner. He adapts like crazy. And I almost admire that because he's so quick with it. But keep on going. Sorry.
No, he reminds me of the only thing I can think of when I see those TikToks where people are like, "Do you tired of your 9 to 5? Like you should start hustling," or like, "I live a hustle," like that kind of stuff. That's basically what these people feel like to me.
I wake up and I grind.
Exactly. That's all he does all day. He just rises and grinds. All right, so we learn that he's stealing that shit, the like I think he said like manhole covers and then fences because he sells it, and he's selling it to this one guy that he's trying to get a job from, and he's very convincing. He makes really great arguments, but then this guy's like, "Why would I hire a thief?" And I like when he
Yeah.
leaves, he's like, "You know what?" He's like, "Oh, good
Good
point."
on you.
Yeah. And so when he's on his way home, he stumbles, or I'm assuming he's going home. He stumbles onto a car crash scene where there's a bunch of news guys there as they're filming a rescue, and they're just really in the way. It just feels it's just very interesting his reaction to seeing that, where he's like very amazed. As to if it was me, I'd be like, are you guys fucking kidding me? Like, get out of the way. But he's
Yeah.
like, I could do that.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see him work because that's happened before. Like where he's seeing something and he's like finding his own way to get in there, to get into that industry
Yeah.
almost.
He's a very slippery, slithery little snake. And
Yeah.
he's very good at it.
Hmm.
I think it's weird to say from this about this kind of character that you admire it or that you're like impressed by him, but I kind of am. I don't think I admire him, but I'm very impressed by him.
Oh yeah.
Um okay, so and then we meet Bill Paxton's character again, rest in peace. And he says a quote that I have personally heard all the time, but I don't know if you have. And I want to know if you have any history with this quote. But basically, he says, "If it bleeds, it leads," and that's a huge thing in journalism. I don't know if you've heard this before, Anthony.
I haven't.
Okay, so I mean, it's kind of exactly what it sounds like. Where if you ask yourself, like, if you find yourself asking, I don't know how many times you watch the local news, Anthony, but usually at the top of the hour, at the very first few things that people are going to talk about, like the anchors are going to talk about, it's always going to be murder or violence or something that's like really graphic. And this is why the saying, it just is basically encapsulating like what that actually is. And it's that people like to see this for some reason. I mean, you've probably clicked on a really graphic video where you know something's going to go down, but you want to see it. Or like that, what is that phrase when people say like it's like a car crash
Yeah,
where you like can't look away from it?
yeah, exactly.
That's basically it. And people, I think it's the same reason that a lot of people like watching scary movies. And I don't know, it's a weird thing in our brain that we need to see the worst case scenario for some reason.
I wonder if it's
Um,
almost like comforting
I
because
mean,
it's
if
like
it's the same way,
I'm not going through that. Like my life might
exactly.
be bad, but at least I'm not that guy.
That's at least what I think that's a lot of where my comes from. Like that's why I like horror movies, because it just makes me feel like that, I guess. Or maybe that's why I'm so into ER right now, because I think I've talked about it, but I'm having my wisdom teeth out, but I'm like, well, at least I'm not having open heart surgery, you know? Like
Right.
like all that stuff that's going on in the ER, well, at least that's not happening to me. And it weirdly does, like in a fucked up way, it does kind of make you feel a little bit better. Or it also informs you. I mean, people want to know, people don't really care if HEB is closing early tomorrow, but they care if somebody was murdered down their street, right?
Right.
So it's fucked up ideology, but it makes sense, especially when we get more into the news, like when he meets Nina, like
Yeah.
her ideology. It's like ugh, it's
It's
really fucked up.
strange, but it's
Yeah.
true.
Oh God. All right. So the next morning, Lou does see the footage from last night, from the one that Bill Paxton's character sold. And he quickly moves into action by selling a stolen bike for to buy his equipment.
Couple things I love
The man
is like,
bun.
well, yeah, because he does that pretty much every time before he does his his dirty deeds.
Hmm.
But I just like the way it's cut, where he's not even looking at the bike.
Oh, it's
This
like
isn't
in the
his.
foreground. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in his peripheral vision. And then when he's like riding it inside, and he's just like so quick with it. That's just
He said, my favorite part is when he says like he's trying to sell it, and he's like has 37 gears, and the guy's like their bikes don't have 37 gears.
yeah, it's so convincing, and he's just making that stuff up.
Yeah. Oh man, gotta love him. All right, so then after he gets his equipment, he does give the job a try, and he's very, very bad at it. Basically, if it's not the wrong type of crime that he's trying to get, like I think there was one where it was just a police officer trying to like find out if a girl's sober or not. If it's not that, then he's just getting too close and he's ruining it for other people that are there. He's not doing a great job, but he said he's a fast learner, so I guess we can trust that he's going to get better.
It's so funny because like he doesn't say anything in this entire sequence. Like everyone's yelling
Oh,
at him,
yeah.
and he just like slowly backs away. It's so funny.
Just sitting there. He's so creepy. But he does get some footage I think they said it was like a carjacker. Somebody like shot a guy,
Yeah.
and he got footage of the guy like bleeding, and uh it's shitty quality, like what Nina says later. But after this, he brings the footage into the newsroom where Nina's working. And she's weirdly excited about it. It's very strange how they're just like looking at, I mean, it's a movie, so we can kind of like take ourselves out of it. But if you think about if this was real, that'd be really scary the way that she talks about it,
Right.
especially telling him that he has a good eye. For what exactly?
Yeah, and giving him like
Encouraging him,
encouraging
yeah.
him. Yeah. Get better equipment, get a directional microphone, all this stuff.
Ask for interviews if you can.
Right. Go
Very
to
creepy.
the good neighborhood. She tells him like what
Oh,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
stories that they're looking for. What it's like she's so sensitized. Is that a word?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that's another thing that journalists would say, if they, and obviously I think people know this, but not all journalists are like that. But it is it is conflicting when you have two parts of your job, right? One of them is telling the news and being honest and keeping your community informed. The other is I mean, you need views and you need money, you need sponsors. Like, it's still a
Right.
business. So it's I feel like it's just a really hard line to walk when you want people to watch stuff or watch your show, but then you don't want to freak them out. I don't know. It's just like there's a line that you should be walking, and she's going on the. I think right at the beginning she's kind of towing it, but we see later she goes on another side. All right. So after this, he now that he's gotten one thing on the news, so he sees it and he's super excited. He's 100% in. So he's like recording it, he's studying codes, listening to the radio constantly. He's doing what he's got to do to get good at the job. We see why he's a fast learner.
Yeah, I want this confidence. Like he does one good thing and he's like, all right, I'm set. Like I can do this. I want that confidence. Even when he walks
Yeah.
into the station, like he walks in like he's meant to be there, and he like
Yeah.
asks how to get around. I want that.
His weird little smile. Oof, he's
Yeah.
so creepy. And then we meet Rick, my dear Rick. So apparently, another fun fact, Riz Ahmed, who plays Rick, was unfamiliar with. Oh wait, this is not the correct one. This is later. But anyways, there's a note that I forgot to add, but this one's kind of funny. Where he was supposed to be like a surfer dude, like a chill kind of like guy, like dude guy, I guess is what you would call him.
Dude guy.
Dude guy. But after the director saw Riz Ahmed's like the way that he did the character, a little kind of like that, but more sad, he really liked that. So that's why he
Mm.
hired him. I just thought it was funny that he's like basically still the chill surfer guy, but he's sad. And he's pretty, it's kind of sad to watch. He's like pretty desperate where
Yeah.
he gets there and he's like, okay, but what is this job for? Because you didn't explain it. And I was thinking, like, why would you go to a job interview for a
And he
job
said
that you
he'll do
didn't
anything.
know? Yeah, poor guy. But then he gets hired, and after Rick is hired, they both sit in Lou's car all day waiting for something, and they finally get something on the radio, and it's like at night, but Rick is way too slow navigating. And one thing is knowing how crazy Lou is driving throughout this entire movie is more insane, because a fun fact is that Jake Gyllenhaal did most of his own driving scenes, including the car chase scene at the end.
That's awesome.
I can barely park in front of people. I can't even imagine doing a fucking car chase scene.
That'd be
That's when,
awesome.
if they told me that, they're like, okay, but you have to do your own car chases, I'd be like, oh,
I'm out.
yeah, can I play Rick? Can I navigate really badly? Because I know that experience. All right, so after getting to their first, oh shit, sorry, my thing fell off. After getting to a scene, Lou, I think this is after the first scene where they miss it. So they're kind of like a trial and error thing with him and Rick working together, but they do get to a scene where Lou finds that the neighbor's house, I forgot what this was. He was like chasing somebody and shooting, or like going through a neighborhood or something, some random guy. Do you remember?
Yeah, I don't really remember either.
Either way, they like it was some guy. I think he was like being chased or he was like running away, but he went through people's homes. And so Lou finds a way into somebody's house and takes footage of the inside where it's empty and there's gunshots like through the fridge. And he even moves around some of the images on the fridge. I forgot that he did this. And obviously, when you're a journalist, which I guess we can loosely use that term for Lou, but basically that's what that job is you're a journalist. You're trying to record what's happening. But he's not really doing it the way you're supposed to, but I wouldn't use integrity as a word to describe anything that Lou does. But
Well,
oh, sorry,
he
go on.
did stage it very well.
I was about to say, but the thing that made me angry is that I was like, God, that is a fucking good. I think I
That's
had the same exact like
a good
reaction that
shot.
Nina had, where she's like, "Oh my God, that's beautiful."
Yeah, and
Especially when he turned
and
into the window,
the
and there's
window with the
like,
bullet holes.
and
Ooh,
they're
what a
talking to the
shot!
police.
What a shot! It's just
I mean, if he took that footage to you, would you not buy it?
I'd pay millions. Uh, it's funny. I didn't realize till now, but it's kind of foreshadowing when he moves the pictures.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like it's the telltale, or like it's basically what happens to every criminal is that they escalate. Not every, but a lot of them is that they escalate. At least with
Starts
serial
a little
killers,
bit.
you'll see that like at least what is it? I think it was the Night Stalker, not the Nightcrawler, but he would first start like breaking into places, and then he would rape people, and then he would murder. Like they would, they move on, they move up in what they do. So it kind of makes sense that he would do this. He would like move around some pictures and then move around some bodies. Like, he would like do what he wanted to do so that it could look like a good shot.
Right.
All right. So after this, we see them getting more and more footage sold to the point where Lou has a really nice car now.
Setup's
Red.
very nice now.
I know. And they have like it looks like a police scanner, or you know what it looks like? Because we passed by a Tesla this past weekend and I didn't realize they have a big ass fucking screen
Yeah.
in their car. That's basically what he has. It's
Yeah,
just
he's
like
got like a
typing on it.
laptop.
It's very nice. And so Lou is getting a real hang of things. Like he said, he's a fast learner. So, I mean, of course, it's what's going to happen. And it makes Nina like him more, but it also makes, I don't remember what Bill Paxton's character's name was, but I can't not refer to him as Bill Paxton.
Oh, something Loader. Fred Loader, maybe?
I'm going to call him Bill. So he offers him a job. He's like, hey, I'm getting more vans because I'll be able to try, like, be at multiple locations. It'll be a great time. But Lou's like, no, I'm not interested in that at all. After this, Lou finally gets Nina out to dinner. They go to this Mexican restaurant. I forgot what he called it, but it really triggered me the way he just like casually said.
Oh,
Every guy's like, there's this one plate.
they claim it's a authentic Mexican cuisine. Or something
so
like
goddamn
that.
creepy.
One thing about his character, especially when Bill Paxton offers him a job,
Mhm.
the way he maintains his composure when he's super angry, and he just chooses the most awkward like insult or threat to say. I think he tells Bill's character like, "I want to grab you by the ears and tell you I'm not interested," and or yell at you that I'm not interested or something like that. That's just very creepy. I can't
Creepy
imagine
dude.
doing that in real life, or what I'd do if someone did that to me.
I don't know. I feel like I believe him. I'd be like, yeah, I think you would do that to me. Two things about this scene, the dinner scene at the authentic Mexican cuisine eatery, is that the director's note to Jake Gyllenhaal for the scene where Lou reveals his grand career plan to Nina was to do it as if he was proposing to her, which I think is the perfect note to give anybody. And that's exactly how, like, watching it after knowing that, I was like, oh, yeah, that's exactly how he did it.
Right.
And that's what adds to the creepiness of it. And it's truly one of the weirdest scenes of the entire movie, and probably one like weirdest ones that I've seen in a while. And especially because he ends it, like the very last phrase or words that are said in the scene is Lou saying, "A friend is a gift you give yourself."
What do you say after that? I
Oh
want to
my
know what happened
God.
the rest of that dinner.
I would have said, "I need to go to the restroom," and then left.
Excuse me.
God, he's so fucking creepy. And so now we get to the famous mirror breaking scene right after Nina yells at him for not having good enough footage. And so a fun fact, I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast. I think so. But anyways, during the scene where Jake Gyllenhaal screams at himself in the mirror, Gyllenhaal got so into his improvised scene that the mirror broke, that he broke the mirror. I don't know why they worded it like that, cutting his hand. He was driven to the hospital by the director after a 19-hour day of working and got 46 stitches and a 4-hour long operation. Then he returned to the set 6 hours after being discharged. So this is the reason why Gyllenhaal had his hand behind his back in the very first scene where he's like talking to that scrapyard owner and telling him his motto. Did you read it? Don't read it. Do you know what the motto was?
I know what it is.
Please tell us.
If you want to win the lottery, you're gonna have to make the money to buy a ticket.
Great motto.
Words I live by.
Truly, I'm
Senior
gonna get
quote.
it tattooed on me.
Yeah.
Senior quote for college.
Yeah.
There you go for your yearbook. And so after this, I think I should have paid more attention. I think something happened during the scene because I do remember Lou was like, we see him just walking near Bill Paxton's van. Like, we don't see him do anything, right?
No, we cut to him underneath a car, and then we find out that it's his van, Bill Paxton's van, and then he walks away from it, and you can see him drive off.
So, but I think at this time we don't realize what he did to it, right?
Right, and they're driving, and Rick is giving him directions, and I love this scene because he's like, "Did you read my traffic memo?" Like he's very meticulous with the way he runs his business, or at some point he calls it his organization.
Yeah, he's so funny.
But it's so funny.
But when they're going to that scene, I guess we don't realize what he did exactly to them until they arrived to the scene and the van crashed into a pole. And Rick is so sweet where he's like, well, he's one of us. We can't film this. And Lou said, not anymore.
Man, his face.
Oh my God. When
he's recording him.
Oh, when he like holding the camera and they like pan down to his face, that is terrifying. Can you imagine waking up to that? Yeah. You're about to go to the hospital. You're having the worst day of your fucking life. And you see that.
Funny that you mentioned that. Later in the movie, he says, I think to one of the detectives, he says, I like to tell people, if you see me, it's one of the worst days of your life.
Which is what ER doctors say, or like doctors say. So don't steal their fucking lines, dude. Come on. Nothing about him is original. All right, so after that, they make it to a home invasion. And this is where the movie gets fucking strange. So before the police get there is when they arrive. And I think it's actually, he's filming while they're getting away. And so after they leave, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't call the police. He just films them, but he's like in the bushes. After they leave, he goes inside the house and he films all the dead bodies, has no reaction to it. And then after this, he's just like walking through just without a care in the world. After he shows to Nina, and she's so excited.
Yeah.
And that one guy, I forgot his name, but the guy that works with her is like, this is fucked up, girl. Like, what are we doing?
All she cares about is if it's legal to show on air.
I know. And then she's like, well, can we blur out the faces? And the lady's like, well, I guess, yeah. And so I like this moment too, where they're negotiating. So everybody leaves the room and she is negotiating with Lou. And he wants basically a month's budget, where I think it was like $15,000. And he also leverages networking opportunities because you gotta stay on the grind, right? You can't just think about the money. You got to think about networking.
You should be taking notes for South by.
I forgot I'm doing that. Yeah, it starts tomorrow. True, I should. Always be networking.
ABN.
ABN. But I do hate to say it, but he brings up some really good points as to why he deserves that money.
I mean, she gives it to him.
Yeah. She says yes. And one thing I think people don't, or at least I don't want to assume what people think about news anchors, but things that I always remember once I watch movies with news anchors is how hard it must be to do that job. Because I
Have you?
think we see like them talking and sitting down, but oh my God. Sorry, we're going to say?
No, I was gonna say, have you seen that TikTok where it's like,
Oh, the prompter
yeah, the
challenge.
teleprompter? I tried it. I failed miserably.
Yeah, I got scared.
Plus, you have that, and you have people talking in your ear, and you have to.
That's the biggest mind fuck to me. There's another movie I recently watched called Broadcast News, where and I watched The Newsroom, which is a really good show, which you see that where they are talking. Like, I just can't imagine. If I'm doing something and Sebastian just asks me a question, I freak out. I'm like, oh, wait, I need to give me a second. Like, I can't even imagine doing that job. That must be one of the hardest jobs in the entire world. And you're live on television.
Right, and it's gonna be there
Ugh.
for all of eternity.
Yeah, now I feel like an asshole for laughing at news bloopers when
Right?
they mess up. But I mean, sometimes it's funny. All right, so I just wanted to take a moment because I can't believe people do that job. But somehow after this, they decide to use the footage. This part was really hard for me to watch because I don't know. I just like thought it was so cringy to like. Ugh, I don't know. It just so like. I just kept imagining like if that happened to people I knew, my loved ones, and I was just watching their dead bodies on the news. No amount of blur or pixelation can make that okay.
Right.
Oof. But and obviously after that, the police are pissed. I do like this moment where the guy's telling because whenever the anchor is not on air, but they're like out in the field, they can still talk to their producers and not be on camera. And so he's telling her like, "Hey, dude, the police are fucking pissed." And Lou's or I think he said like, who they want to talk to the person that filmed that. And Lou's like, it was me. Tell him it was me. And Nina's like, he can't hear you.
He runs. He like walks up to the monitor, and he's like
He's
pointing at
talking to
it.
him. So embarrassing. So cringy.
That's so funny.
And so after this, they are really pissed and they show up to his house and they want a copy of the footage. And he is still fucking creepy as hell to the
He's
detectives.
beaming. Like
He is so happy.
when it was so funny when he's like, "Do I have to show you the footage?" He's like, "I'm just messing around. I already have a copy for you."
I knew one of you would come.
Oh man,
So fucking creepy.
so off-putting. I don't know
I would,
why.
yeah. Oof. I would hate to be in a room with him. So as he's reviewing the footage, I guess he's making a copy or just looking at the footage. He's zooming in, taking screenshots, and you'd think that he was turning them in, right? But no, this is not the Lou that we know. He's using it for his next big footage break. And so Lou reveals his plan to find out where the guys live to Rick. I don't even think I don't know what happened, but let me talk about the note that I accidentally put in because it was really funny to me. So Riz Ahmed, whenever I think it was when they were doing like a stakeout or something,
Hmm.
he was unfamiliar because he's not from here, right? I think he's from like the UK or something.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know.
but he's unfamiliar with Bed Bath and Beyond. So I don't know if you noticed the way that he like said it when they're at a red light. When he said like he just said it like really weird. And somebody corrected him. And every take he did it again like the right way. But the director was like, it's not as good as what you did on the first take. So that's like him saying it weirdly was kept in because the director really liked it.
Oh, he said Tarzan, not Tarzan.
Yeah, exactly. And they were like, you sound like a fucking idiot.
I don't know the other one.
Yeah, I don't know. I truly I can't even hear it anymore, honestly. Sorry, now I missed my spot. Okay, so the plan is that they are gonna go stake out where these guys live because he found out by searching their license plate, and then they're gonna go to a more public place and then call the cops because Lou says they're not just gonna give themselves up. They're gonna like make a big deal out of it, right? They're gonna probably have
Right.
a shootout, whatever, and it'll make for better footage than them just surrendering at their house. And Rick's obviously like, dude, I'm not going to fucking do that. He's like, okay, before this, which I forgot to mention, they negotiated his pay and he didn't do it at all well.
That's so funny. He's like, set, $75 a day.
Because he was getting paid like
Uh,
30 or something, right?
yeah. And it's just it's a little sad because he thinks that's a lot of money.
Yeah. And then Lou's like, okay. And he said, well, I probably could have gotten more, right? And he's like, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And so he's like, no, if we're going to do this, because this is fucked up, if we're going to do this, then I need you to pay me. And so he does negotiate and he uses some leverage. He does exactly what Lou would do to him, where he's like, hey, dude, I know what you're doing and I can tell them. I can tell the police right now that you're withholding information. Like, this is
Right.
illegal. And Lou's like, fine. And then when he tells him, like, okay, I'll give you like half, I think he agrees to whatever he says. And he's like, see, now I feel better about the situation. Now I feel like I can do this because I'm getting compensated.
I love their relationship because throughout the movie, Lou always finds a way to like turn a moment into like
A teaching opportunity.
like to mentor Rick, and it's just such a funny thing, especially when they're running away from the house,
Mm-hmm.
where he's like, "You need to take initiative. I need to see more from you."
And they're like running away because the cops are coming.
Yeah,
But that's the thing too. I guess we can get into it later, but it's so interesting to me that Lou is trying his hardest to teach. Well, I guess I don't know. So he's trying his hardest to teach Rick all these things, and at the end, he is like learning from him because he's doing exactly what Lou would do.
right.
He would use that bit of information against him. But I think he's like, well, okay, I wanted you to do this, but not towards me, dude. Like, come on. So I like that Rick is learning, but
Yeah.
and he tells him like, you gotta treat people well. Like, that's why people don't fucking like you, dude, because you don't treat people like people. And Lou's like, okay. And so once they go to a public place, they're in a restaurant, and that's when Lou calls the police and he tells them that they're armed. Which, I mean, yeah, they are, but like, you don't know that for sure. And Rick is adamant this whole time that's a bad idea. He like really hates this. I think Lou tells him to go outside to take a better angle, and then Rick is like, dude, I don't want to do that. But Lou is pretty insistent and even threatens Rick, it feels like, so he just complies. Because I think he tells him, like, he kind of implies that he's just gonna like, he could beat him up or something, right? He could like,
The way he words it is so creepy because
and that's why I put like, I feel like he threatens him, but I don't know.
yeah, Lou is so good at that, the
Mhm.
character, because he's like, he moves on so fast, but you're like still questioning because he says something along the lines of, like later on, if you, well, essentially, you agreed, but then you failed to commit at the most critical point. So I'd be obliged to hurt you or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd feel, yeah, he says something like, I can't even remember because it was so weird.
Yeah.
My
Part of
brain
me
doesn't
makes
work
like
that, but
now knowing, like, hearing rumors about Jake Gyllenhaal not being a great guy, like, I'm like, is that even dialogue that they wrote, or did you just say that?
he says, I got this. I don't need direction. I got this.
He's like, or I feel like the director's like, I think like I want you to kind of threaten him, but not really. And he's like, oh yeah, I've done that before.
I
Do you
just
want
did
me
that to my
to
barista this
smile?
morning.
You know what though? That is exactly the TikTok I saw where it was this girl that was like rating the celebrities I served coffee to.
I know, that's why I said that.
But I've heard two. Oh, I didn't even update you. So the first one, that was the second one. There was a first one that
Wow.
somebody was like, he's not nice. And the second one, they were like, he's just like one of those people that he obviously knows he's famous and he wants to be treated as if he's famous.
Hmm.
And which is kind of annoying. But yeah. Maybe this movie got to him. I don't know. Okay, so it's this movie, or this part of the movie I really love because it's such an interesting way to shoot this part, because we never go into the restaurant. We always stay in Rick and Lou's point of view, and we even see it mostly through their camera lens. Not like the footage from their camera, but through the, what is it called? What are the things called? I always call it a viewfinder, but I think that's
Just the
not correct.
screen, the LED
Yeah.
screen.
And then the tension in this part is so high. And even now, I know what's gonna happen, but I was still like nervous. And we see a second set. So there's a first set of cops that go in there and they just like go up to the counter. And then a second group of cops pop up, and that's when the shootout takes place. Because I guess those guys are getting nervous about how many cops are in there, so they just start shooting for some reason.
They're not
And
smart.
yeah, and then a car chase ensues, and it's like a really wild chase. And for whatever reason, like we see a bunch of crashes, and they just like speed down the road really crazily. And this is the one that I was referring to when I said that Jake Gyllenhaal like drove for all of these. Like apparently he drove for this one too, which is crazy. And somehow they all crashed except for fucking Lou. And
he was tailgating real bad.
I know, it was fucking scary. I wonder too, like, I mean, I'm sure Riz Ahmed is just a really great actor, but I wonder if he was actually scared, because I would be too.
Yeah.
Um, so after all of the cars basically crash into each other except for Lou's, he gets out, and he gets into the scene. He's like filming, and then he looks into the bad guy's car and he shouts out to Rick saying that he's dead so that they can like get the shot. So then Rick runs up to the car to take footage, and he's shooting, or he's like, that's not, sorry. He's filming. He's filming the guy that is supposedly dead.
He's not the only one shooting.
And then the bad guy shoots him. So Lou set him up. And I forgot that this scene happened this way, because what I remembered happening was that we see Lou looking at the guy and we see that he's not dead. But how they actually do it is that we only see Lou looking and saying he's not dead, and then we see Rick coming around. So we don't know that he's not dead until Rick does.
Yeah.
And that's such a good way to do it. And I totally forgot that they did that.
So sad.
I know, because he's such a sweetheart throughout this whole thing. Poor guy. And yeah, like I said, Lou sets him up and then he fucking records him dying. And while he's recording him, or while he like goes up to Rick tells him that he can't, he knew, he was like, I knew I couldn't trust you because I know that you did that. And, no, sorry. So Rick tells him, like, I know you saw that he was alive. And then Lou tells him that he can't trust him. And that's why he had to get rid of him. I forgot how he obviously said it in like the weird fucking way that he does. When he's like, I can't have an employee that I can't trust. Like something like that. And he's fucking dying.
He would just leverage the fact that he's doing illegal stuff again.
And he said, I know you would do it again. And then Rick said, I think he said like, no, you don't. And he's like, yeah, I do. You were going to do it again.
Sad.
Which, sad, very sad. And then after this, he shows it to Nina, and she calls it amazing. And she said, wasn't that your partner? And he's like, yeah. And the way that they're standing, it looks like they're about to make out. And I couldn't remember if they did or not, because it was like they're so close.
They were.
The tension, palpable.
He was like, yeah, he's very creepy. I don't know what else to say.
So creepy. And if this isn't already messed up, we learn. So the house that was broken into, it wasn't just being robbed. It wasn't just like an armed robbery. I think they were stealing drugs, or basically in that house, they like had a bunch of drugs there. And
in the walls, I think.
Yeah. And so, but Nina was like, well, just put it in like the second, I don't know what she said, but basically the less popular news show. Like it doesn't, we don't want that to be leading. And the guy's like, why? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? She said, we want to keep the story as urban crime creeping into suburban communities. I don't know if she said exactly that, but basically that. Because she's saying like people don't care if they're dead, if they're drug dealers.
Right.
Which, that's what I mean by like, that's fucked up. But is that's obviously wrong to think, but is she incorrect in thinking that? And that's something that I think we all have to reflect on. Is like, they're making news for people, and we are the people that watch the news. So like,
Right.
Do we move on too fast if it's a drug dealer? I think
Probably.
so, yeah. So, like, I mean, I think maybe that's what's so creepy about this movie and about the people, like, people in this movie's motivation is that it's not unfounded. And a lot of the time we're part of the issue. And so it's hard to, like, reconcile that, I guess. But yeah. All right. And so the detective is also still really pissed. And I think she hates Lou just as much as we all do, probably, because she's like, I don't fucking believe you. I don't trust you. You're a fucking snake. Like, she basically pointed out, she was like, I think you did this, this, and this. And everybody's like, yeah, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, I think she was our voice, the
Mhm.
audience's voice, because all of us wanted to say, "You're creepy, dude. I don't trust you."
But in the end, I mean, he doesn't get punished. And I think that's what made her the most upset, because she was like, yeah, there's nothing is going to happen to him. And in fact, it made his operation bigger than ever, where he even hired some interns.
Got 2 vans.
2 vans, and probably gonna be more. And I love the last line of this scene, or of this, like, entire movie. And I don't think I probably thought this before, but this, like, really threw me for a loop, because he says to the interns to remember that he said, I would never ask you to do anything I wouldn't do myself. And, like, that's something people say all the time, right? And it's something that used to be comforting. But when you're talking about a guy like Lou,
A
what
murderer.
is something that he wouldn't do? Truly, what is something? I can't think of a single thing that he wouldn't do. So, I mean, that's basically what he's saying. This entire movie, I would make you do that, because I did it.
That's funny.
And that's just so creepy. And I think it brings a good, like, new perspective to that quote when people say that. I would never make you do something I wouldn't do. Okay,
It's
but, like,
super weird.
what would you do?
It's so weird because, like, pretty much everywhere I've worked, minus my last position, like, they've all said that. My bosses have all said that to me.
And it makes you think, like, okay, like, because at the time you're like, okay, that makes me feel better. But then you don't know that person. You don't know
Yeah,
what they're
you don't
capable
know.
of or what they're willing to do.
Which also makes me think, minus the murder, Lou would be a pretty good boss.
Oh my
He
God,
seems like a good
please.
mentor.
Please stop. Is he hiring? I'd be an
He
intern.
turned every moment into a learning lesson for Rick, up into his last moment.
Right? Why not fire the guy? Why do you gotta fucking kill him?
I mean,
Jesus.
kind of fired him.
All right.
Fired him from life.
Okay. Last fun fact is
Well,
that the crane.
that's not the last fun fact, is it?
Oh, sorry. No, it's not. I'm a liar. But last thing about the movie is that's also not true. It's okay.
Oh my gosh.
The crane shot that ends the film.
You're just lying. You're just straight up lying.
You know what, Anthony? I will not lie to you, though, about this. I would never make you do something I wouldn't do.
Just carry on.
The crane shot that ends the film is meant to suggest that Lou is a virus, and, quote, that he was now going to spread and infect the rest of us.
Are you okay?
No.
I never thought of it like that.
Me neither, but it's very ominous. It is kind of ominous the way that if you watch just, like, the end when they drive away, it is kind of scary where they're like, well, he could be in your neighborhood now.
Yeah. And if you think about it, like, he kind of did infect people, like, especially Nina.
Oh, yeah.
Like how you said how she was kind of like teetering on that edge. He, like, pushed her into the deep end for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I forgot the guy's name, but the guy that worked with her, when he was like, you sound like Lou.
Yeah.
And she was basically like, well, is that a bad thing? Yes, bitch. That's a bad thing. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Good movie.
All right. Before we get into the fun facts, because I'm a liar, sorry. What prop would you steal? I already know what I would steal.
I'd
Can't say
probably
the car.
steal. I wasn't gonna say that. There's a couple of things I'd like.
I would steal his glasses, his sunglasses.
I was gonna say that, but I'd want them to be prescription.
That's what I was about to say too. Ew, we're fucking nerds. Okay.
One of his shirts. He had cool shirts, or his, like,
his jacket.
or
I was
any of the
also going to say
cameras.
camera, yeah, or the bike. No, not the bike.
Nah,
I liked the shirt that he wore whenever he was at the
the pink
beach
one.
before. Yeah, I like that one a lot
I
too.
like that shirt.
Maybe some of the fence, I could go sell it.
Yeah, the two manhole covers.
hmm
Before we go into the fun facts, I want to say a couple things, or not just one thing, on why I think this movie probably got a 76% on Rotten or on
Oh, please.
Metacritic or
It was
IMDb.
Metacritic. Metacritic.
Um, this is like not serious, but
Oh.
the sequence where he's like learning, where he's doing the code, like learning all the police codes,
Oh my god.
it reminded me so much of when Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man and like draws all of his like costume, like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. That's it. It reminded me so much because even the music is kind of like upbeat, you know, little like New York like
Stop
pop,
moving your head like that.
you know, like I don't know. It just made me think of it. Like go rewatch that. Anyone
Okay,
who's
what does that have to
listening.
do with 76%?
Oh, it'd be like I don't know. I feel like the critics are like, man,
Like this is derivative.
yeah, this is too derivative. No,
So dumb.
no one beats Toby.
Jesus. Maybe because I've heard that Tobey Maguire's also kind of a like piece of shit.
Yeah.
What if he's like Lou? Maybe it's derivative of him. Who knows? All right, some fun facts. I have just one. I like to section them if I can. I only have one section though, and the first section is called "Nobody Asked You to Do This, Jake." So he memorized Jake Gyllenhaal. Obviously, he memorized the entire movie like a play, but he is in every scene, so I guess that makes sense. Might as well just memorize it. He also does plays a lot, so whatever. And he also lost 20 pounds for this role, and this was his own idea, as he visualized Lou as a hungry coyote.
I can see that.
Yeah, it is. It does add to. I mean, I don't know if that's offensive, but like, I mean, the way that the weight is on his like face, like the lack of weight, it does kind of add like a creepy shadow to him.
A lot of this movie does take place at night, and especially
Yeah.
when he's in the car, like
Mhm.
his defined cheekbones. I see what you mean. I definitely
Yeah.
get that.
And to create this appearance, he worked out for up to 8 hours a day and ran or cycled to set every day.
Wild.
8 hours a day? I know I read that earlier, but it's just sinking in right now. 8 hours a day?
It's
Oh
a
my
full
God.
work day.
And nobody asked him to do that. That's the crazy thing. Nobody asked him. I would love to like have, because I think him and the director are like friends or friendly because he did another movie with him. And I would love for him to tell him that. He's like, okay, but like, I'm not asking you to do this, right? You know that.
I must.
It's like, shh. I'm going to do it no matter what you say.
I just
He's
watched
like, oh, we
Spider-Man.
actually-
I know exactly what to do.
I just saw Tobey Maguire. I got it. I already know. Oh, and it's funny you bring up the music cues because the music cues actually represent the cues that Lou would have in his head. So maybe he was thinking of Spider-Man. You don't know.
Probably.
And to prepare for their roles, Jake Gyllenhaal and Riz Ahmed rode along with actual Nightcrawlers in Los Angeles to prepare for their roles. A couple more. Despite receiving nominations for Best Actor at Golden Globes, BAFTAs, SAG, Critics' Choice Awards, Independent Spirit Awards, and even the Saturn Awards, Jake Gyllenhaal failed to receive an Academy Award nomination. Critics, audiences, major film groups, and publications considered this a major snub. He is only one of 8 actors that this has happened to. And I mean, I don't really I think it's funny that there's rumors that he's like not a good person, but I do think that like this actually does bother me, the fact that he was not nominated for an Oscar for this, because like this, to me, this is his best work that he's ever
did
done.
really good, and
Very,
he worked
very
out
good.
up to 8 hours a day.
Yeah, but nobody asked him to do that, so I'm not gonna. Next is that the director considered a backstory that would help explain how Lou became the amoral and damaged, quote, survivor he was in the film. However, he ultimately cut the entire idea from his script because he didn't want to either spend a lot of time on Lou's origin or make him very sympathetic, which I think was a good. It seems risky. Like, I feel like a lot of studios would be like, yeah, but like, why would people watch this if they don't want to root for the guy, you know?
Yeah, they don't care about him.
Yeah. And the editor, John Gilroy, which I don't know, the director's Dan Gilroy, so I'm assuming there's relation, but I don't know what it is. He points out that the character of Lou is a lead with no backstory. And he said, quote, I've never been involved in anything where the character came from nowhere. Which I
That's
thought was
awesome.
interesting because I was trying to think of another movie where it's like that, but I guess no. But I think it's a studio thing because I think I don't really need to watch a movie where they give us the background. I kind of like the fact, and because it did so well in theaters and people love it so much, I think people want this. They just want to like see a person be a bad person without having to know why they are that way.
It's like the audience doesn't know what they want until you give it to them.
Exactly. All right, last one. Director Dan Gilroy, on the impetus for the film, he said, I think to some degree, it's certainly an indictment of local television news, but I'd like to cast a wider net in the sense that all of us really watch these images. I would hope that maybe a viewer would take it further and maybe go, why do I watch these images and how many of these images do I want to put into my own spirit?
Definitely something I'll think about after watching this. I mean, I don't really watch the news.
Me neither. I mean, it could, but it doesn't even have to be on the news. It could be.
That's true.
Twitter,
Anything.
Twitter, Instagram. It's kind of, it just, at least to me, what I kept thinking of was like graphic videos of people, of stuff happening to people, whether it's a home invasion, a murder, a shooting, like just stuff that people consume and then they share it. Like, why would you, like, people, it's not like you're sharing it into the ether. Like, people follow you and how triggering that is for people. And like, why? And I guess to just ask yourself, are you watching this to be informed or are you watching it because you're just have a morbid curiosity about it? And how would you think if that was you or if that was somebody you knew? So I do really love that this movie makes you kind of think about that. And you're like, well, I don't want to be like Lou. But yeah. All right.
There's a Lou in all of us.
I think that's the scary part too. I was going to there was this one place that does like where you can write essays about movies, and I wanted to do one, but I just never did it. About like the perspective of watching this movie when I was in high school, which I think is when it came out. No, I want to say in college. When I was in college versus when when I was searching for jobs. I feel like my perspective was way different. And maybe it will be for you. Maybe I would recommend you watch it once you're doing like a job hunt. Because I mean, I don't think I'll ever be like Lou, but you kind of understand the like need for money or the need for a career or to define your identity. Like he feels like he knows who he is, but he really found his passion and he will do anything he can to succeed. And that's what people tell us to do. I mean, they don't tell us to murder people, but
yeah.
they tell you to sacrifice your mental health. They tell you to use your time for your job. They tell you not to take paying jobs. Like, you know, it's just like maybe there is something to learn about this.
Yeah, and I feel like man, I had something really like poignant, but I don't remember what I was going to say. I really did.
I guess we'll just have to trust you that you did.
Oh man.
You know, but this movie, I think what it comes down to is it's just really strange.
But true. That's how we end every single one of these episodes. Strange, but true.
Oh God, I hated that. Okay. So let's get into I don't know if I said what it's called, but we're gonna call it our family tree.
Oh, I remember what it was.
Oh my God.
Lou didn't see like murder as murder. He just saw it as a way for him to grow in his industry and in his career.
Yeah.
So I feel like to him it didn't really, I guess, matter that he was killing people.
Yeah, of course.
Besides Rick, I feel
I
like
don't think that mattered to him either, though. Or I think,
He was kind of saving his butt on that
well,
one.
he saw him as an obstacle.
That's true.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was what I had to say. So
Very
not super.
poignant.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know if we named it last time, but we're gonna be calling it our family tree game. Family Tree the game. Um and so just as a reminder, if you guys are familiar with 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, you already know how to play this game. So basically, we're going to be choosing an actor from each movie. Anthony will choose one from Spree, and I
Spree.
will choose one from Nightcrawler. And then we will have to connect the two using only movies or TV shows that they've been in. And so, just some of the ground rules, we have a new one. Oh, sorry. So, the person who wins is going to be the person who uses the least amount of degrees to win. In the event of a tie, we will call somebody, we'll probably have a producer, which I think is sitting next to you,
Yeah.
pick a random celebrity, and then our actor, and then we'll try to guess their age, and whoever's closest wins. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Some ground rules. A quick first one that we just came up with is you can't double dip. So I can't say Jake Gyllenhaal is in Nightcrawler with Riz Ahmed. Like we can't go to two. We can't do two movies at once or two. You know what I mean? Like it has to
Right.
be fully
Separate
unique.
movie.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Next one is that we will not tell each other who we are picking until this moment in the show. We cannot do any research on the internet, and you have to know the full name of the actor or character they play and the full title of the movie or TV show that you choose. Next is that the winner gets to make the loser watch one movie. Has to be a movie. I would say if we want to do a TV show, we can, but it only has to be like one episode or a specific
Okay.
episode or something. But I don't know if we'll do that. That's it. I already did the tie thing. Okay. So right now is when we're gonna pick our actors. I am going to pick. Do I go first?
I'll go. I'm gonna pick Joe Keery.
Did you not pick him last time?
No, I picked Kyle Mooney.
Oh yes. Okay. All right. So I am going to pick. Oh fuck. Oh okay. I'm gonna pick Renee Russo, who plays Nina.
Bro, I've already lost.
I think I did too. I wanted to challenge, but I think I challenged us too much. But we'll see. And
Okay.
we'll put 5 minutes on the clock, and we'll be right back.
Yo, I have to poop so bad.
Go do it.
But I'm gonna leave my phone here, so I'm not looking things up. Are you looking it up?
No, I'm trying to see where Sebastian is.
Okay, I'm gonna poop.
Sebastian, are you here? He's not here.
Renee Russo. Kayla, did you drink any of this? Did you drink any of this? Did you drink any?
Like, very little.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't drink anymore.
Who?
You.
Why?
Because then you would have drinking 16.
Well, you drink some of it, no?
I drink like a little bit.
What the hell? The hell, dude? I don't know any of these people. I don't honestly don't even know what else.
Renee
she's-
Russo?
Yeah.
I only know she's of one thing she's in, and I thought it would help me, but it really hasn't. I think I can do it though.
I really thought you were gonna pick someone else. I was so ready, man.
I think I have one, but I think it's gonna go like crazy.
I asked Kayla to help me. She went so off the grid. She went to like Twilight and then
Hey, it was good.
Valentine. It was pretty good. Valentine's
who?
Day. I can't tell you if you pick this character next time.
Renee Russo. Okay.
I have a minute left on my clock. Minute and
We'll probably need more time.
5. Good, because I'm stuck.
I think I have a way. God damn it. Can I help you?
No. Renee Russo. Exactly. Don't tell me, Kayla.
I don't know who that is. Did not spell her name right.
I'm not going to look. Don't spoil it for me.
Do you not know who she is?
I know she's in Nightcrawler. She plays Nina. I have no idea what the hell she's in.
She has the most forgettable face I've ever seen. Dang.
This is where I'm at.
Oh, I know what she's in.
This is what I'm at, Kayla. I can't look.
Can I give you a tiny hint?
No, you can't give me a hint.
Please.
No, you can't. That's one of the ground rules. Can't research on the internet. Can I see her face? Can you just pull up a picture of her face? Kayla.
Yes, I can.
Is she? Is she? Oh. She's in that.
You better not be cheating.
I'm not cheating. I don't have anything.
Oh my god. I think I got it. Oh wait, no, I don't. God damn it.
I don't have anything.
I think I have it, but it's like really long. Oh my god, I think I got it. I did it. I think I did.
You ready?
Did you get it?
I don't even know who.
Why do you think this is the strategy, Anthony? Why did you think I would pick her? Because I knew you wouldn't research her. You probably did Bill Paxton, Riz Ahmed. You probably did all those other people.
I only really did Riz Ahmed. I thought you were gonna be like, oh, he got his first Muslim lead.
That's too easy.
No.
I'm not going to do easy ones, Anthony. Come on. I have to make it hard.
I had one.
All right. Do you want to?
I start at 137.
I do still want you to tell me your Riz Ahmed one, though. Oh, wait, no. Don't do it yet.
I don't even remember it. I had it in my mind, but I forgot. Welcome back. Spoiler: I didn't get any. I don't even know who Rene Russo is besides Nina.
I think I might need some verification on this, so maybe that's what you can do. Because if this is correct, I'm a genius. And I did. I know you saw me on my phone. I was not looking it up. I was just texting Sebastian because he called me. Okay, you ready? This is really long, but I guess it doesn't matter because you don't have any. And we don't have a cap on them, right?
Not really.
All right, so I'm gonna start from yours. So Joe Keery, is in Stranger Things with Winona Ryder.
Okay.
Winona Ryder is in Beetlejuice with Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
Alec Baldwin is in 30 Rock with Tina Fey.
Correct.
Tina Fey is in Baby Mama with Amy Poehler.
Mm-hmm.
Amy Poehler is in Mean Girls with Lindsay Lohan.
Okay.
Lindsay Lohan is in The Parent Trap with Dennis Quaid. I think that's correct, right? Dennis Quaid. Okay, that's the one I don't know. And this last one, you also have to double check. But actually, I'm pretty sure this last one is correct.
Parent Trap. Yeah, he's Nick Parker.
He's the dad. Okay. And then Dennis Quaid is in a little movie called Yours, Mine, and Ours with Rene Russo. I'm a fucking genius, Anthony.
Yeah?
I can't remember how old you are, but I know all these movies. Okay, let me first tell you exactly why I chose Rene Russo. Because she's in a movie, look at the cast list of Yours, Mine, and Ours. It's basically cheaper by the dozen in that it has a bunch of people in it. It has Dennis Quaid, it has Drake Bell, it has other people too, but I guess I forgot their names. But it has like a ton of actors in it.
Drake Bell, Miranda Cosgrove.
Oh, I was going to use like all those like avenues.
Rip Torn.
And she plays the mom. Dennis Quaid plays the dad.
Wow. Well, there you go.
That was my strategy.
What else is Rene Russo in?
I'm sure she's in a lot. We just don't know.
She's in Thor?
Yeah, she's the mom. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I forgot about that.
Oh, she's in Velvet Buzzsaw.
Yes, that's another fun fact. She's married to the director of Nightcrawler, and he directed that Velvet Buzzsaw one.
Oh wow, she's obviously an Endgame. I feel like I could have used that if I.
Oh yeah, you totally could use Thor.
Well, damn.
Mine was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 degrees. Oh, now I have to think of. Oh, can you tell me? I'm not going to choose Riz for next time. I wasn't gonna choose him. That's too easy.
I don't remember it.
But you said
But
it was good. To Joe
well,
Keery?
yeah, I was gonna go Winona Ryder, and then I was gonna go.
I feel like she's the key.
Yeah, she's the Kevin Bacon of. Then I was gonna do Johnny Depp because
Oh yeah, I was gonna do that one too.
Edward Scissorhands, and then I don't remember what I was gonna do. Oh,
Oh, you could do anything from Johnny Depp. He's in fucking everything.
I was gonna connect it to Venom.
Oh, that's genius.
Yeah, I was gonna do that because it would have been like a FU. But
I know, anytime you could fit Tom Hardy in.
I did not. Because Renee Russo.
Oh, have you seen... Maybe not a punish. Maybe I'll let you watch one that's good. Actually, no, I know exactly what I'm going to make you watch. This is for Kayla, though. I'm going to make you watch After. Have you seen the first one?
No.
Yes, we're going to watch After.
Kayla's been wanting me to watch this. Kayla. I'll tell her later.
She's going to be very happy. That's for her.
She's going to be upset because I told her I didn't want to watch it.
Well, now you have to.
Yeah, I know. Now I have to.
I'll just tell her to text me every time she wants you to watch. I mean, I'm excited for the day you beat me, but I don't think it's going to happen.
That'll happen.
Study up, bitch.
I need to.
All right. After, and then I'll already tell you the next time you lose, you're going to watch After We Collided.
Dumb.
That's the actual title of the movie.
That's stupid.
I know. But I only want you to watch the first one so you can watch the second one. And the second one has one of the best cinematic moments in history, probably.
Dumb.
All right, what are we watching?
We're watching Nomadland for this podcast.
On Hulu.
I believe it's Hulu. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll talk about... It'll be the one movie that you've seen. Oh, no, you've seen other ones, right?
Yeah, I've seen others. Not probably the only one for Best Picture. I don't think there's... Oh, no, Sound of Metal. Yeah, I was about to say. So, should be cool.
Excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I haven't... That's one that I've been wanting to watch, but I just haven't found a reason. But here we go.
There we go.
Excited.
I guess.
You're so defeated.
I was ready, man.
We'll prepare for next time, dude. You already know I'm not going to pick Riz, so...
Gyllenhaal?
I don't know.
He's in play. Okay. I don't know.
You're so sad.
I wanted to win.
Next time.
I want to make you watch. I'll make you watch.
What, like a Batman movie or something?
No, Flushed Away.
You know, I see all those memes that are like, I saw one, I don't know, I should have sent it to you, but they were like, why are girls always attracted to guys that look like the mouse from Flushed Away? And it was this guy that like, he looked like, I think he was like watching it and then he was like, oh fuck. And then he was wearing like a white shirt and he looked exactly like him.
That's funny. Perfection.
All right. Well, the yawns are coming out, so it's time to go.
Yeah. Time to end it.
See ya.
Bye.